Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Rose to Row and Astrology. I'm your host, Mel Rose, and today is Monday, October 7, 2024. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for spending this time with me, and thanks for checking in on your regular current astrology. As you know, as above, so below. So if we can get an idea what kind of universal energies are at play, well, we're part of the universe, so we know what kind of energies are at play in our own lives, and that helps us navigate our way forward a little more smoothly. So thanks for being here for that. And, I hope that wherever you are in the world, you are feeling very happy and well and loved and blessed and whole and supported. I know that here in beautiful Lee Summit, Missouri, I'm feeling very happy and well and loved and blessed and whole and supported. It's a gorgeous 50-degree morning out this morning, a little cool, very sunny, and I can hear the birds chirping. I've got the windows open for the fresh air. So what a beautiful time for us to come together. Thank you for being here. And if you haven't already, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It all helps me out a lot. I love to see new people popping onto my channel all the time. So thank you for being here. And hey, leave a comment down below. Just say hello to me so that I can say hello back to you. Let me know what your big three are if you haven't already, or let me know where you're tuning in from, or ask me anything. I'm an open book. Okay, so today the sun is in Libra, and when the sun is in Libra, we are looking for balance in our relationships with other people. That runs the gamut from our most personal, private relationships to our civic, public relationships and our professional relationships as well. And what we want is to know that we are giving as good as we get, and we're getting as good as we give in those relationships. So if you examine a relationship that you have with another person, or your relationship to, something that you really enjoy, then you need to, if you're not finding the balance there, then you need to advocate. There needs to be a conversation, okay, where you spell out what doesn't feel balanced so that you can bring things back into balance, right? We want to feel as though we're both giving as good as we get and getting as good as we give in those relationships. And so if you're not, please speak up for yourself. The moon today is in Sagittarius, and it's a waxing crescent. So Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is pulling a lot of attention this week. So it's interesting that we're starting off with the moon in Sagittarius today. Jupiter wants for us the bigger, better things that we imagine for ourselves, the bigger, better life that we imagine for ourselves. And it's always ready to help positively expand whatever it is that we want to do. And with the sun in Libra and the moon in Sagittarius, we've got air and fire vibes. This is very creative. It's very much about like intellect, planning, our conversations, our collaborations, and the action we take as a result of that. Okay, so these actions that we take as a result of these plans, they should engender a sense that we are having or are on our way to the bigger, better experience that we're looking for in our lives. Now, first I want to say the moon is also a waxing crescent. And as a waxing crescent, this is a time when we are planning the bigger, better things that we want for ourselves, the things that we want to achieve in order to feel as though we have gotten where we want to be. So with the moon, a waning crescent in Sagittarius, it's very much a day to be taking action, setting ourselves up for success for the coming weeks when we're going to want to have some achievements under our belt so that we can celebrate at the full moon. Mercury is in Libra, and Mercury and the Sun had their cazimi last week. So hopefully we had a moment of illumination, a moment of clarity where we could make our plans more simply and more clear, because we can really see what's going on for us personally. Venus and Mars are both in Scorpio and Cancer. They're in water signs. So it's a very emotional and even intuitive way of relating together. And we're going to come back to that in a moment. Last week, we had the new moon and solar eclipse in Libra at the South Node. And, the solar eclipse at the South Node, it's about what's going out of our lives. It's about what we're leaving behind. And it's great because on the day of the new moon and solar eclipse, we here were putting things out for a garage sale. And eclipses can be a little bit bumpy energy. I don't know that I planned that the best that I could have, to be putting things out for a garage sale on the eclipse, but it is about what's going out the back, what we're trying to get rid of. So it was very satisfying to push a bunch of stuff out of the house and put it out there where people can take it away for us. And that was a successful garage sale, but it was also a little more work than I thought it would be, because there was more stuff in our garage sale than we thought there would be. So it was a bumpy day, but it turned out to be a successful weekend, thanks in part to that solar eclipse in Libra, where we were striking a balance in our homes by letting go of some stuff, taking some weight off of one of these scales, right? So that was last week. Also last week, Venus was trine to Saturn. We had this moment where we felt really attracted to things that are solid, things and people that are solid and reliable, and that we can plan for in a material way. And then Mercury also was square to Mars on Saturday. And I'm so sorry I wasn't here on Friday to talk to you about it, but Mercury square to Mars, that can be a little bit of a frustrating vibe. It's really like, I made this plan and now I'm trying to make progress on it, but Mars and Cancer, Mars wants to go direct, Cancer goes sideways, right? So to go direct, Mars has to kind of like step to the side and then go direct, and then step to the side and then go direct. So it was really a conversation about slow progress and not allowing that to stop us from making the progress that we want to make. So I hope that even if you were slowed down, even if you met some stumbling blocks in your planning or your communications, that you were able to make the progress that you wanted to make. Now, tomorrow, Venus is going to trine Mars, and they're both in water signs. That's a trine. They're going to both be in the same element. Venus is in Scorpio. She's emotionally there to cut out the crap. She's kind of there to bring things that aren't working to an end, to clear out anything that is illusory or just not useful at this time. But in this trine with Mars, it's really a positive thing to be clearing out, habits of relationship that no longer work for us, ways of being in relationship that no longer work for us, especially Venus and Scorpio, ways of receiving things or calling things in or asking for things that no longer work for us. While Mars in Cancer, again, wants to make progress, but it's slow progress. It's initiative, but it has to be sort of initiative with feeling. It has to be initiative with an understanding of how things feel for ourselves and the people that we're in relationship with. And Venus trine to Mars, that's very awesome, positive, gracious vibe for our relationships. So again, when we're seeking that balance, we're going to have these conversations to advocate for ourselves and others, perhaps. And tomorrow we just have this really gracious vibe where it says, yes, please go have that conversation. Speak from the heart. Talk about what you want. Talk about what you don't want. Talk about what you like, love, and can't get enough of. And, what you plan to do to get there. And it'll probably be a very positive experience, okay? Harmony in relating, that's Venus trine to Mars. Then coming up on Wednesday this week, Jupiter is going retrograde. So what you need to know about that is that Jupiter is standing still in the sky from our perspective right now. And when the planets stand still because they're getting ready to go retrograde or they're getting ready to go direct again, they have a lot of power to affect us. Now, Jupiter, like I said, is that planet that wants us to be, do, and have the bigger, better things we imagine for ourselves. So Jupiter turning retrograde right now is going to cause us to reflect on what that is, what our ideas are of what the bigger, better things are that we'd like to be, do, and have for ourselves. And, it's going to cause us to reflect on that and maybe even you sort of rework the plan. Like, okay, now I've been thinking about these things that I like, love, and can't get enough of. I've been thinking about the balance and the reciprocity, and maybe it's going to be time to adjust for a bigger plan, or perhaps just, we find that the bigger, better things that we want for ourselves have changed, right? Like some people think the bigger, better things they want for themselves is a penthouse in New York and a shiny car. And some people, think the bigger, better thing they want for themselves is a marriage and a family and a house in the country. So, sometimes our goals adjust, sometimes our ideas of what is bigger and better adjust. And this is a good time to be reflecting on what your sense of what's bigger and better for you is, and how that might be changing. So Jupiter retrograde, pulling focus all week, but it's not the only very powerful planet that's pulling focus this week. On Thursday, the moon is going to be the waxing half moon in Capricorn, where it will be halfway to the new moon to the full moon from the new moon. Man, I'm getting confused. So that waxing half moon in Capricorn is very much a worker vibe. Capricorn needs mountains to climb and problems to solve. And so it's good to be at that half moon point where we are kicking into gear, where, we've sort of wrapped up our planning phase, and we're going to go into taking action to achieve those things that we want to have achieved, especially by the full moon next week, so that we can pat ourselves on the back and say, look what I did. All right, so that's on Thursday. And then Friday, Pluto is going direct. So Pluto is another big, powerful planet, the furthest one out. And it stands for transformation. It stands for like tilling the soil, turning things over, making things completely different from what they were before. Pluto is going direct in Capricorn for the last time for 200 years. And it's, again, pulling a lot of power and attention because it's standing still in the sky. So this is a great time to be reflecting on last 10, 20 years and all of the material things that have changed and completely turned around for you in your life. And now is the time to be in review of those things, because pretty soon Pluto is going to go right back into Aquarius and will never be in Capricorn again for the rest of our lives. So please do take stock of what has changed for you materially, and what has changed on a cultural level materially, and as far as institutions and structures coming to pieces, falling down, and us having to find the new way to do things that we have always done, the new, better, more practical way, and more practical in terms of what we're leaving behind as an old BS, and also the higher good of the common person. Okay, so Pluto in Aquarius is very much going to be about transforming our society and our culture and our attitudes from something that's very individualistic and like what one person can do, and transforming it. And it's going to be more about transforming society. It's going to be more about transforming culture, so that everybody has what they need and everything is uplifted. Our systems are really going to go through some big changes over the next 10 or 20 years. So that's an important thing to be paying attention to. And Pluto, again, pulling a lot of focus. You've got Jupiter pulling focus and Pluto. So Jupiter wants bigger, better things for you, and Pluto just wants you to go through those changes and transformations that you're going to go through to become the person that you're becoming. So keep in mind the bigger, better things you want for yourselves. Don't just let Pluto drag you along and say, okay, whatever happens, happens. All right, have some agency in what it is that you're planning for yourselves right now, like in the short term, but also in the long term as well. And then Saturday, Jupiter is going to sextile Chiron. And I'm not sure how long that will last, but it will last a little bit. And that's, a power to expand. It is power to expand through healing. So, whatever it is that you're doing to help yourself get better, to help yourself feel better about the life that you're living, Jupiter, again, bigger, better things that you want for yourself. And Chiron is about the healing that you seek. It's an area, so it's really about healing from childhood wounds, like old hurts that still sort of sting and make us avoid situations, right? This is an opportunity to just get bigger than those old problems and to be done with them, to put them behind us, because we are bigger, better people than we used to be. And then coming up on Sunday, Mercury is going to square Pluto and then move into Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto. Mars is going to square Chiron. The sun is going to be in opposition to Chiron. So Chiron is getting a lot of attention this week. And then the sun is going to trine Jupiter, which is really positive, lucky aspect. But that's all happening on Sunday. And what I want to remind you about, in light of all of this that's happening, and over the next 4 weeks, it's going to be very active skies in astrology, okay? What I want to remind you about is to go slow, all right? Advice in life and in bowling: slow down and follow through. Okay, and that's going to be the vibe for the next 4 weeks as we head into Samhain, as the veil is thinning and things are getting a little more a little more spiritual. Okay, a little more. We say spooky because we're coming up on Halloween. Halloween will be on the 31st, and uh, on the 30th. Samhain will be on the 31st, and then that new moon in Scorpio will be on the 1st of November. So we'll have a few days there to celebrate the thinning of the veil. But things are getting a little more spiritual. The ancestors are really starting to talk to us right now. And the skies are so active that I really just want to encourage you to sit and listen, to go slow, to take it easy on yourself, to take care of yourself, and really, pause between tasks and think about what's next and why you're doing it, because this is no time to be trying to rush forward. Okay, this is a time to really be sitting with the vibes as they come up and considering what you can make of them, and making slow, deliberate progress. Okay, all right. So I will be back here on Monday the 9th to talk with you about it again. Thank you so much for being here. I do so appreciate you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Mwah.